Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ce 9e épisode de Roman's Christmas. Mon nom est Kells et j'espère que de votre côté, vous allez bien. Comme vous avez pu remarquer lors du 9e épisode, le format a un peu changé. J'ai pas malheureusement pas eu le temps de vous l'expliquer lors du 9e épisode, mais bon, on se lance à ce moment même. Donc, le format des épisodes maintenant ne sera plus d'une demi-heure à 1 heure, il va être directement de la durée du stream. Vous allez avoir une introduction, malheureusement qui a manqué un petit peu lors du dernier épisode, mais vous allez avoir une introduction comme que vous êtes habitué d'avoir, puis un outro comme vous êtes habitué d'avoir aussi sur chacun des épisodes. On va se servir plus de la chaîne YouTube, comme une chaîne d'archives, des streams et tout qu'on a fait sur Twitch. Donc, tout simplement parce que avec toute la vie du travail, vie familiale et tout, j'avais beaucoup moins de temps à consacrer à faire l'editing et toutes les vidéos. Donc ça va être vraiment le stream. Mais en tout cas, j'espère que vous allez quand même apprécier et j'espère que vous allez passer un bon moment. Surtout accompagné de ce sœur Roman. Je vous souhaite un bon épisode. Ok. Donc, Yanis s'est fait embrocher par un harpon. Well. Ça a sûrement un lien avec Vincel puis Sean. Mais on va finir par trouver c'est quoi, parce que là on a su que Vincel avait une dague sur lui. Puis Sean a tué Kane avec une dague. Est-ce que c'est la même dague? Est-ce que c'est un complot? Est-ce que c'est une organisation? Il y a plusieurs possibilités qui peuvent arriver. Yanis s'est fait harponner, étrangement. C'est un peu ironique que le requin se ramasse avec un genre d'harpon dans le corps. Mais bon, ça fait partie de la vie. Mais ça fait partie de la vie. Pas là-dedans, voyons donc, c'est quoi cette affaire-là? Donc on a Turn ici, qui est complètement estomaqué de ce qui vient de se passer. C'est peut-être pas une dague, ça peut être un crit. Ça pourrait. Ok. Donc on va partir ça, surtout on pas mal sûr qu'on va passer au travail du chapitre 3. Je ne peux malheureusement pas vous dire c'est quoi le nom du chapitre parce que ça passe tellement vite que j'ai pas le temps de le lire, puis il est backward ou de bas en haut. C'est vraiment lourd et difficile à lire quand il passe. Donc c'est ça, on est rendu là. On avait le marquis qui a parlé une grosse partie de la veille avec Yanis. Puis il s'est entendu sur quelque chose. On ne sait pas quoi encore. Il s'est entendu sur quelque chose. Il y avait eu une poignée de main d'échanger là-dessus. C'était très étrange. Même que le marquis avait refusé de boire la potion de QV. Mais après la poignée de main, Yanis a dit au marquis, attends, on va aller QV, viens ici. On va prendre de ta potion finalement. Le marquis était censé être de garde. Il s'est endormi sur la table. Fait que qui a tué Yanis? On va le découvrir ensemble. Ok. On va commencer par parler à Treevy. Je pense Turn is leaning against the wall at the corner. Are you ready? Okay. I'm fine. Even a rookie could tell Turn was trying to put up a brave front. Ok, à propos du ladder. Ok, on se rappelle que la dernière affaire c'était le ladder qui était tombé sur la tête, la fameuse échelle qui était tombée sur la tête de notre ami Enzox. Il est pas mort encore. Is the ladder fixed up? Yes, but I think the track was deformed because of the fall. So there will be a lot of noise when the ladder moves. Ok, ça va nous donner des indices. Is it loud? Loud enough that you could probably hear it if the tavern is quiet. Intéressant. Une autre chose aussi qu'il faut pas oublier, durant les dernières enquêtes, on s'est servi de notre fer, donc de notre sens de l'odorat. Malheureusement, cette fois-ci, il y a quelqu'un qui a ouvert notre fenêtre, va savoir pourquoi. On a pogné, pendant qu'on dormait, on a pogné une genre de congestion nasale d'une certaine façon, probablement juste un petit rhume ou quelque chose de tel. Donc on ne peut plus respirer par le nez. Donc ce qui fait en sorte que notre flair est comme littéralement inexistant, donc on pourra pas l'utiliser pour cette enquête-là. Ok, about Yanis. Have you noticed Yanis acting strange recently? I don't think so. I mean, he paid for his room and everything. I mean, other thing, like anything out of character. I'd say it was pretty normal for him. I mean, I see. Room rate. Wait, did Yanis have a tab, or was he behind on his room payments? Why do you ask? He asked me for money last night. He told me he couldn't pay for his room. What? I clearly told him I charge him at the same price as the others' rooms. And I never reminded him of this. Well, that's weird. Hey, bonne soirée, Steph. Merci d'avoir fait un petit détour avant de partir. Did you notice anything else strange? No, except that I slipped and fell on the stairs this morning. Oh, the spiral stair in the hall? Yes? Why? Probably because I was tired. I swore I felt something slippery and then my foot slipped. What time was that? 7 o'clock? I usually get up around that time, about an hour earlier than the residents. Intéressant. Special things. Did you notice anything else strange? Nope. Non, c'est ça, ok, ça même pas. Bye bye! Ok, fait qu'on a pas mal les informations sur lui. On va juste chercher ici. Est-ce qu'on peut chercher la spiral stair? Non. Le ladder. On va voir le ladder. On va l'investiguer. Ok, the ladder on the left was under maintenance recently. Well, d'accord. From here to the end, there and Kane. Ah, non, ok. Fait que ça, c'est les pièces, on s'en fout, ben raide. Ok, Kane est là. Ouais, non, c'est ça. Vincel de ce côté-là, il ne l'occupe plus. Il y a Yanis qui est genre ici, à quelque part. Ok, fait qu'on n'a pas besoin d'investiguer plus que. d'enquêter plus que ça, en fait, dans cette place-là. On va savoir si on peut aller dans la pièce de Yanis. Je suis pas sûr à 100% encore, mais il semble qu'on s'était fait sortir de là le temps que l'autopsie se fasse, que Trivy fasse son autopsie. On peut quand même aller voir, on va avoir du monde en masse à questionner de toute façon. Vincent est plus là, Roman c'est ma pièce. Kane, Erin est encore là. Peter est encore là. Peter qui est traumatisé de tout ce qui s'est passé jusqu'à maintenant. Notre petit lièvre. Est-ce qu'on peut chercher? Wait! I'm still checking for the body! I'll investigate elsewhere first. With Lunich in the first floor lobby, not much can be found there. But giving the first floor a search is still necessary. Theoretically, every room should be checked, especially the doors and windows. Although not everyone can give useful testimonies, asking everyone is still necessary. Ok, wow. On peut-tu... pense pas... Ah! On peut-tu parler... What? About the remains, yeah. How is the autopsy going? Not finished yet. Give me a little more time. That Valerian stuff you gave out last night, is it safe? Right? It is safe, right? If you're implying what I think you are, yes! I drank a dose of it myself. About the case, did you hear anything in the attic? No, neither Tsarn and Zox nor I went downstairs. Otherwise, the sound of ladder would have woken me up. It can't be more obvious than Anzax hadn't gone downstairs. Non, il est endormi en haut, il passe en bien raide, lui, là. Ok, c'est bon. Fait qu'on n'a pas appris grand-chose, malheureusement, on peut pas fouiller Anzax. Elegant, qu'est-ce que t'as à me dire? Elle est pas là. Regardez bien, ça c'est une chandelle. Hey, un sac là, j'ai jamais remarqué le sac. A candle, the thing special. Dans le drawer. Le fameux livre. I opened the notebook again, the names haven't been changed. However, this time it appears my name is crossed out as well. Oh no. Fait que là, faut qu'on regarde les fenêtres. Nothing interesting here. Look at the window lock. The window lock is a drop-off lock. Lift the lever upward, and the other lock lever on the other side of the window will turn upwards, no longer blocking its movement. Then either half of the window can be easily swung open. Hit the lock lever down, and it will snap the two windows together. The window will be completely locked in that case. Intéressant. Mais pourquoi tu ne donnais pas le choix de l'autre? Just outside the window is a narrow ledge that rings the second floor of the tavern. It's only wide enough that one person could walk along it at the time, mais il y a des traces de pas. Sarn uses it for maintenance, and he keeps his wings spread while he's walking on it, so he can glide down if he falls. Seems there's a slight imprint on the ledge, but it's hard to identify. Ils l'ont pas marqué, ok. Le sac à dos. Elegant's bag, an ordinary lightweight travel bag. The bag's opening has been tied up excessively. Fait qu'elle veut pas qu'on fouille dedans. Ok. On va quand même aller fouiller dans les autres. Elegant, what are you doing here? Well, I just went downstairs to inform everyone. And now, I'm here to assist you with the search. On est dans la chambre de Vincent. Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait là? C'est louche. C'est vraiment louche. Elle s'est fait pogner sur le fait, guys. The drawer is still empty. Elegant should have just checked. A candle, it could be a weapon with a candlestick. Maybe. The window in Vincent's room is shut tight. Seems there's some water stain on the window still. Intéressant. Look at the window lock. La même chose. C'est exactement la même chose qu'il nous explique. Là. Je ne reprendrai pas le temps de tout vous lire ça. On va juste regarder à l'extérieur. Oh, just outside the window is an overhead. Bref, ouais, ok. Turn use it for maintenance. Cigarette, there's an imprint on the ledge. Ok, mais rien de plus. Pencil's giant chest. Wonder if it's ever being touched. On peut pas vérifier. Ok, parfait. On va y parler. Got any clues? Not at the moment. What happened to helping me with the search? Did I say that I was finished? Nope, effectivement. Merci, bye. Dans ma chambre, on va regarder surtout la fenêtre. Pourquoi que c'est ouvert là-bas? Pourquoi qu'il y a de la neige là? C'est sûr que c'est parce que la window était open, là, la fenêtre. How could the window be opened? I clearly remember I closed that window right before I went to sleep. J'ai l'impression qu'il... Ah, intéressant. And there was no illuminated on the window when I woke up. It might have opened for a while. Le lock, est-ce qu'il est brisé? Non. C'est exactement la même chose. Ok. On va regarder à l'extérieur, il y a peut-être des traces de pas aussi dehors. Just outside the window is an ledge, right? Good. Starting to use it for maintenance, okay. I think there's a shallow mark in the snow on the ledge. Okay, c'est tout. How was my bag packed open? I didn't lose anything except the evidence, but it felt strange. This is it. This is the evidence from my last case and a notebook I kept notes in. Better have a double check, since the window was open this morning. Regardez bien ça. C'est le seul moment que vous allez voir que quelque chose n'est pas traduit dans le jeu. Je comprends tout à fait tout ce qui est marqué. Tout à fait. Mais ça a été rajouté. I reach into my burlap bag. The bag. It's empty. The arrow is missing. Okay, let's not panic. I shouldn't tell the others about the arrow yet. All that would do is make me the #1 suspect. Yep. À chaque fois, il essaie de nous framer pour quelque chose, c'est incroyable. My room's kindled, nothing special. Good. À chaque fois, il essaie de nous framer. Peter, il est pas dans sa pièce. Ils sont tous en bas. C'est la première fois qu'on accède à sa pièce. Not a hole lot in Peter's drawer. Ok. Non, non, non! Ah, ok, wow. Ça a pas fait la même... On dit que tu dois investiguer les fenêtres. Just outside the window is an hour ledge that rings. Hey, y'a pas de trace de pas! Ok. Y'a pas de trace de pas! Avez-vous remarqué? Candle could be a weapon. Mon dieu, que ça va pas tout. There are bite marks on the pillow. C'est Peter mange son oreiller. Hey, il est là! Erin! Oh, il a pas l'air de... Il a pas l'air heureux. Il a pas l'air heureux. Pourquoi il est pas heureux? Is there anything you can tell me about Yannis' death? How would I know anything? I went to sleep, I woke up, and somebody died. Again. Oh God. Oh Lord. That probably didn't help his hysteria. That's it. That's it. Nothing interesting about the... Ok. Il y a absolument rien. Ok, c'est exactement la même affaire. Ah ouais, vous faites penser à quelque chose, regardez bien ça. La 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 la. Woman whistle, was open it's a window. Case note, missing arrow. Case note, the note of his... Ah ouais, c'est ça, ok. Ça a sûrement rapport avec quelque chose, right? Bon, ben, je pense que... Tiens, la chandelle, guys. Y a-t-il encore ton truc dedans? Ouais. Aaron's scripture book is in the drawer and his rosary is on his nightstand. Right! Avez-vous une idée de qui aurait pu faire ce meurtre-là? C'est quand même étrange comme meurtre jusqu'à date. Right? Nothing interesting about the window in Kane's room. Il y a toujours rien dehors. Puis le log, ça va être la même affaire. J'aime mieux toutes les vérifier, là, au cas des fois qu'il y a quelque chose d'autre. Là. Il n'y a rien de nouveau. Bon. On s'en va, là. Lunich. Ok, il y a juste Solar qui est là. Good. Do you have any information about what happened last night? No, there was nothing particularly noteworthy. I think the medicine Dr. Drivy gave me made me a little confused. I thought I heard something, but I can't be sure what it was. Never mind. I don't want to lead you astray, detective. Was the medicine you took last night effective? I'm not sure it was. I fell asleep rather late last night. Intéressant. Est-ce que je peux vérifier qu'est-ce qu'il y a là-dedans? May I check what's in this drawer? Some of the things in there are private. If you really need to check, I can show it to you. Oh oui. Ok, il va falloir que j'y reparle? Bon là. Nothing interesting about the window in the bed. Vincel's room. C'est pas la room de Vincel pantoute. Ça c'est une erreur. Ok, c'est encore la même affaire. Il y a toujours pas de traces de pas. Intéressant. Le mug. Un empty mug. Le candlestick. Le weapon of the hour. A handbell, originally used to summon Charles. Mais il pourra pas répondre, il est mort. Ok, faut-tu que je te parle pour que je puisse... do you have any information about what happened last night? Oh my goodness. Et je veux le voir, qu'est-ce qu'il y a dedans, Carol. Je veux le voir. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, chat! Pourquoi qu'il me donne pas... Pourquoi qu'il me donne pas le choix? Est-ce quelque chose d'autre qui s'est rajouté? Non, absolument pas. C'est louche. Ok, on va aller dans l'attic avant de descendre. Notre ami il est toujours en train de dormir, hein. Hanzock's bed is sleep here almost every time he comes to the White Star, and of course at that very moment. Effectivement, encore le livre qui servira à rien. Curious book, the fervor as a dragon with an unreadable expression and strange symbols, I can read it. Okay. Kirby's medicine chest. I have to check it when I have time. Tu as le temps! Les clés. Charm's key hanging on the bedside. The keys would be here if there are any unoccupied room, but only Charms has a cellar key, and it's not on the key ring. Intéressant. Oh, une grosse chandelle. The candle could be a weapon or a candlestick. Well, talk. Hanzock hasn't woke up yet. Ah. J'aurais aimé ça pour pouvoir faire des niaiseries encore. Dans le hall, ils vont tous être là. Ok, on va commencer par chercher. Il n'y a absolument rien à chercher ici. Regardez bien ça, ça va aller vite. A wooden carpet. J'avais même jamais cliqué dessus. Oh, les stairs, guys! Wooden spiral stair. Turn tumble there. Tumble here. The carpet is damp. Oh, intéressant! Ah, ok, ça va m'en faire. The fireplace doesn't produce nearly enough warmth. A wooden cup, one cup can be drunk from a long... ok, whatever. Ça n'a pas d'importance. Je sais pas. Kitchen without turn doesn't quite feel like a kitchen. Yep, right. Juste pas des fois qu'ils disent quelque chose d'autre qu'il y a ici. On va te passer ça vite. Vous avez même pas idée de comment ça va aller vite. C'est toute la même affaire tout le temps. Ok, il y a rien d'autre. Gravy on the counter has been wiped away. Ok, fait que là maintenant on va parler avec nos amis qui sont là. Talk to. Peter was scared out of his mind, shivering at the counter. Peter? I pat Peter gently. Leave me alone, please! But you're the only one who knows the most about Rhiannis. Doesn't Tarn have any ideas? He doesn't. Okay. The only thing I know about him is he's been gambling a lot recently. I do the same. He wasn't betting pocket change like you were. He put 50 cents into the game at least. What? Why, I know nothing about this. He'd always pay back on time, so no one talk about it. Talk to who? Lunich. I shook Lunich's shoulder to wake him up. Wow. What do you need, Monsieur Detective? Sorry for the disturbance, but I have some question for you. Oui? Oh, il en suit une shot. Did you hear anything suspicious last night? Nobody came down the stairs, and I heard no noise of fighting. The storm was quite intense last night, and it hasn't stopped until this morning. Did you hear any noise from the ladder upstairs? I do not think so. Thanks a lot. Il est encore là. Le bug! Would be useful. I choose not to think what this mug... Hey, man, il est pas l'air à l'aise. Then saw staring at me from his chair. C'était pas voulu de me faire sourire là. The barrels were well organized on the metal bucket rack. Ah oui, la fameuse iron chain que c'est seulement Tsarn qui peut l'utiliser. Bon, c'est bon. Ok. Parce qu'elle est coupante, donc les écailles du dragon ne peuvent pas le faire en sorte qu'il se coupe. On va y parler. The second Vincent's mouth has been removed, but they still lack the strength to yell. Yes. You want to tell him? Yanis. The shark? Then who was the victim? No, Yanis, the shark, is dead. What is going on? I'm as clueless as you are at the moment. On n'a plus rien à les dire. Haven't you solved the case yet? Ok, fait que... Je pense qu'on devrait pas y faire trop confiance à lui pour être franc. Il peut peut-être devenir un allié avec le temps, ça m'étonnerait. Right. Ça serait louche. Ça serait louche. Pourquoi qu'il deviendrait un allié? Right. The water level in the toilet is a bit lower than yesterday. Good, le feu. The fire is out. La planche, absolument rien. Everything cutting board, made from black walnut wood. There's an eye stuck in the cutting board. There's nothing in the pot. There's nothing in the pot. Il manque rien là, right? On the knife racks are ham knives, butcher knives, vegetable knives, and bread knives. Je vais tout le temps prendre du temps dans la toilette. Not the time. There are a few gray hair in the thing, but they don't look like mine. My reflection looks as bad as I feel. There are dark circles around my eyes, and I've been snuffling all day long. Bon! Fait qu'il n'y a rien nulle part, fait que je suis d'avis à monter en haut. Non, il n'y a pas ça. On a parlé à Vincel. On est plus gros, là, right? On a ah ouais, ben ouais, elegant, ok. Erin, Peter, c'est pas mal les derniers qui restent, guys, il reste plus grand monde. On va aller voir si elle a quelque chose d'autre à dire. Got any clues? Not at the moment. What happened to maybe? On va y revenir plus tard après avoir été watch ready. Wait, I'm still checking the body. I'll investigate. Whoa, wait, what? Mais je les ai toutes checkées, les maudites windows! Qu'est-ce que tu veux que je check de plus? Je peux pas y faire dire d'autres affaires que je peux pas. Just outside the window is an arrow. Ça, à un moment donné, je veux bien, là, mais je peux pas y faire grand chose de plus. On a tout checké les. On les a tous checkés. Je sais pas si c'est vraiment un bug, là. Et avec l'autre window qu'on est pas capable d'ouvrir, peut-être. Clairement que le meurtrier a passé par ma chambre. Tu sais, comme vous pouvez voir, l'imprint est vraiment de moins en moins large, right? On les a tous checkés, là. Là, il y en a pas, fait qu'il est clairement venu de mon bord. Puis comme on peut voir, la petite bordure... Oh non. Ah. Ça me fait penser que la fenêtre ouvre de l'autre bord, right? C'est moi qui est fou? Ou c'est peut-être le dessin? Je sais pas, je comprends pas. Peux-tu juste regarder la fenêtre de même? Ça faudrait être brisé. Ah! Je peux pas suivre ça. Ah oui, vas-y, va sur le bord. Va sur le ledge. Non, pas Vincent, bâtard. Oh, non, il y a quelque chose d'intéressant, c'est ça l'affaire, c'est que le truc comme ça, les traces sont de plus en plus récentes. J'ai effectivement pas été dans la chambre de chambre. Ok. Wait, the ledge. The ledge outside of Sean's room seems to be broken. C'était juste ça qui me manquait, guys. Ok, ça c'est le luneau solar. The candlestick! Unused candle. C'était juste ça qui me manquait. Good! C'est la flèche. The window in this room is wide open. Snow has spilled on the windowsill. Just outside the window is a narrow ledge that brings the second floor of the tavern. It's only wide enough that one person could walk along at a time. It's only used for maintenance, blah blah blah. Seems there's a slight imprint on the ledge, similar to the ones I found earlier. They look like footprints. If we sort these footprints from deepest to shallowest, The deepest footprints were outside of his rooms, and then the footprints outside the elegance room. The third set is outside Yannis' rooms. And then footprints found outside of my room were the shallowest one. On va regarder le log juste pour être sûr qu'il n'est pas brisé. Il n'y a pas de l'air d'être brisé. Ah, ok, Yannis, malheureusement, t'es mort de la genre de flèche ou de harpoon ou whatever. Oh, il a l'air d'avoir été strangled, par exemple. There's a circular wound around Yannis' neck. The wound is deep enough to break Yannis' skin. Shark skin isn't easy to tear. An arrow stuck into Yannis' chest. Specifically, ouch, the arrow I lost. The arrow is sunk deep in his chest, with only the stick outside. But there isn't a lot of blood. The arrow went through the pleura of the lung, making quite a deep wound. Anyway, I don't want to have anything to do with this arrow. I have compiled a detailed report for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks! And his eyes are wide open. His mouth is gaping open, like he's trying to say something. Quelque chose dans sa bouche. Oh. Yannis' stomach isn't covered by the sheet. Peavy just pulled up the sheet to cover Yannis' groin, but he pulled it down when he checked the body. Okay. What? Did you hear anything in the attic? Ah non, ça on l'a déjà. Let's see. If you don't mind, I'd like to double check the autopsy result. As you wish. The victim is known as Yannis, a male shark, approximately 40 years old. The body was found in the victim's room 1 hour ago, with time of death about 5 to 8 hours earlier. The victim was found naked at the time of discovery. The genitalia are covered out of the dignity for the deceased. There is a wound on the victim's chest, 7 centimeters deep, penetrating the pleura of the lungs with minor bleeding. An iron arrow was found in the wound, and the shape of the wound is consistent with the above arrow. Aside from a set of banded marks around the deceased's neck, no other wounds were seen. That is all I have found thus far. Ok, parfait. On va juste continuer de chercher. It said it's closed. His key is still in the bag, however the wallet was empty. A belt made from hemp rope was pulled out and set aside. The door was shut. Intéressant. Ok. On n'a pas. I am having trouble breathing now. What if I could sniff out the murderer? What if? Je m'étonnerais bien gros que ça nous aide, mais on va le laisser quand même. I close my eyes and try to breathe in and out slowly through my nose. Ah ouais. Ok, fait que différentes races sentent de différentes manières. Certains objets vont être liés à certaines affaires. I can tell them apart. They seem so connected while they seem not. I can smell a thing. Which is, with my nose clogged up, I couldn't smell a thing. But I have all the evidence I need. Time to find out the truth. Oh my god, déjà. Ok, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez, guys? Qui que vous pensez qui est le meurtrier? Je vous laisse admirer les fameux. Alors, il nous reste Peter. Il nous reste qui déjà? Qui d'autre qui nous reste dans les trucs? Il nous reste Erin. Il nous reste Marquis, Lunic, Solar, Peter, Erin, Lunic, Solar, Elegant, On va laisser Turn à l'extérieur de ça. Je ne crois pas qu'il pourrait être qu'il pourrait être là-dedans. Ok, je vous laisse une petite minute pour répondre. Et voilà. Attendez un peu. Quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'il respecte pas? Quoi? Je peux pas. Je sais pas pourquoi ils veulent pas que je vous le fasse. Oh well, whatever. Écrivez-moi là dans le chat, ça va être plus simple de même, je crois. Qui vous pensez? N'hésitez pas. Ok, voilà, ça a marché. Ok, j'ai dû changer Peter. Ah, mon dieu, pour Pete. Hmm. Pété, qui est pas accepté. Ok, n'hésitez pas à voter, guys. Ça peut être intéressant pendant ce temps-là. Moi, je vais sauvegarder. Hmm. C'est le trial qui commence dans pas long. Qui vous pensez qui a fait le meurtre? C'est clair que c'est pas nous. Si c'est nous, le jeu se termine là. Peter, le fameux lapin. Erin, la hyène. Solar, la tigresse. Ludwig, qui est notre fameux marquis. Ou le loup gris. On a vu qu'il s'était poigné la main. Moi, c'est mon suspect numéro 1. Du moins, pour le moment. Puis, j'ai pas mis de Treevee ni Turn parce que je pense pas que ni un ni l'autre va faire le meurtre. Ça serait un peu farfetch. Quoi que ça se pourrait, mais ça serait un peu farfetch, right? Surtout Turn. En fait, c'est avec ce qu'on a trouvé jusqu'à maintenant. C'est pas grave, même si t'as pas assez vu le jeu Majestic, tu peux quand même voter juste pour le fun de voter. T'as pas. C'est juste pour le fun en fait qu'on fait ça. Il y a rien de, rien de visé ou quoi que ce soit là-dedans, c'est juste un sondage pour le fun. Ok. Donc, vous avez voté pour. Ok. Il y a personne qui a voté. Pas grave. Ok. After a thorough search, I ask everyone to come to the hall for trial. Mon suspect numéro 1, le marquis Lodec. Trivy took off the mask he wore during the autopsy. You may start now. He looked down and whispered, Unto God's grace, mercy, and protection we commit you. The Lord bless you and keep you. May God's face to shine upon you, and may he be gracious unto you. Both now and evermore. Amen. Nunic and Sutter were sitting facing towards each other. Towards each other? On l'air complètement dos à dos. I'm pretty sure nobody would agree to this, but is there anyone that thinks Hyannis died from an accident? Oh, come on, trial. Let's go. I've got a theory, but I'm not quite sure it's polite to say. No games, Peter, just thought. I heard rumors that some people strangle themselves on purpose to increase the pleasure from... What kind of rumor do you listen to? But I'm pretty much sure that's totally unrelated and completely unimportant both to me or the case at the moment. How could someone do something so? Let's save the moral outrage for later, alright? Let's focus on what we can gather from the evidence. I'm pretty sure this isn't a case of sexual asphyxia. It seems to contradict the evidence. What proves Janice didn't die from sexual asphyxia? The arrow reached pleura, the wound bleed little, and strange mark on his neck. The arrow stuck in his chest seemed to be inserted quite deep. The arrow was deep enough to penetrate his pleural cavity, and possibly his lung. If it did, his lung could have collapsed due to the pressure difference. I'm pretty sure even a masochist would not have trouble with such a self-conflicted wound. Also, if this actually was sexual asphyxia, the rope he used would still be on his neck. Maybe we can ignore the scars for the time being. Alright, we can basically rule out accidental death for right now. It's time to figure out the likely suspect. First, we can exclude the 3 people in the attic. The result is simple. Ladder. Because there will be a loud friction sound when the ladder in the attic is dragged up and down, but no one heard it. True enough, but we could narrow the range of possibilities to suspect further. If we exclude Merculonix can be ruled out, since he was the night watcher last night, but I will need you to testify further. But of course. Then the possible suspects can be narrowed down to Peter, Erin, Elegant, Marquis Sellers, and myself. Je suis pas d'accord qu'il peut être ruled out, parce que ça veut pas dire qu'il a été là tout le long. Why did I? It's alright. I didn't do anything anyway. The important thing is to find the murderer. So, I want to hear Marquis Sellers' testimony first. Did you notice anything abnormal last night? I need all the details, no matter if you're unsure about it or not. If you say so, Mr. Detective. I didn't sleep well last night, possibly because of the medicine. But instead of leaving the room, I laid on the bed and tried to sleep. While I was on the bed, I heard some animal sound, like the friction sound of someone trying to shift something outside. It was quite clear. Something smelled fishy. Maybe I'll press harder for further information. Which part? A friction sound? Could you elaborate on that? It sounded like footsteps. It was louder when I first noticed that. Then the volume was getting lower and lower until it was almost inaudible. Ça explique les pas que sur l'extérieur à côté de nous. Mais ce serait pas louder and louder. Then it has become louder once more. And then it went down again. You appear to have heard it quite well. There wasn't any wind howling last night, so I heard it quite clearly. Ok, puis l'unique a dit qu'il y avait une méchante tempête dehors. So you stayed in your room all night? It's unsuitable for ladies to go out casually at night. The medicine didn't work on you. I couldn't get to sleep even after I took the medicine. Then you would have at the time commit this crime instead of sleeping. Please add what you just mentioned to this testimony. With pleasure. Please testify again. I fell asleep really late last night. As a lady, I didn't want to leave my room casually. While I was in the bed, I did hear sounds like footsteps. It was quiet at night, so I heard it quite clearly. Wait a sec. What happened? Something sounds suspicious in your testimony. What is contradiction in Seller's testimony? Ooh. Because of the wind and snows. Sound was so loud, no unusual sound was heard during Luch's vigil, and no one came downstairs. Marquis Lunich was the night watch last night downstairs. According to his own words, the snow was heavy at night. And you mentioned that it was quiet at night. I'm afraid it's not possible. Well, it might be because I was nervous. I wasn't barely listening to the footstep outside. But I did hear it, I swear. Fine, I will note it down first. So, Solar heard a difference in the sound because... What caused the sound Solar heard to change in volume? At this sounds. The suspect was moving on the ledge outside the tavern, so their distance from Solar's room has also changed. The footsteps sound faint when far away, then grew louder as they got closer. In other words, it was because of the suspect movements from the map to the tavern. When the suspects commits the crime, they must have passed by Solar's room twice. Il n'y avait pas de trace de pas. The suspect first passed by Solar's room on the ledge outside at the time. The noise the suspect made had not yet attracted Solar's attention. When Solar finally heard the noise, the suspect was already on the ledge past her room. As the suspect continued to walk toward Yannis' room, their footsteps were getting quieter as well. Outside Yannis' room, the suspect entered the room and murdered Yannis. After committing the crime, the suspects returned along the same path and passed outside Solar's room again. C'est impossible, il n'y a plus de ledge ici. As the suspects returned to their own rooms, their footsteps grew progressively quieter until they disappeared. Il n'y a pas de trace de pas. This can explain why the sound of footsteps that Marquis Solar has heard changed from loud to quiet, then loud again, then disappeared. The possible suspects are now rolled down to 2 people. Peter as suspect 1. That's impossible, considering the position of his room. Who else? Erin as suspect 4. In other words, Erin and Peter, who are staying in the rooms on the right, had to pass by Solar's room if they were going to commit crimes in Yannis' room. Wait! What? The ledge outside the sound room broke down a decade ago. But it's still possible if the murderer jumped over the gap. You can't easily jump over such a big gap, unless you turn. If the murderer didn't come from the rooms on your right side, it wouldn't have made that kind of sound. Then how do you explain Solar's testimony? Perhaps she heard it wrong. I know exactly what I heard. That means we are the only 2 suspects. And I know clearly that I'm innocent. Which means you are the culprit. Okay, ils disent les deux en même temps. Right? Anyway, care to tell me what you did last night? Why me? Also, I'll testify after you. Very well. You know, if the murderer did break into the room from the outside, then we are the only 2 suspects. I was sleeping the whole evening, and I am unsure of how to prove my innocence. But I had no motive to kill Yannis. What should I ask about? The range of suspects could be expanded. Then who else might be involved? I'm not sure at the moment. Are you sure you don't have an alibi at all? What can I say? What about the motive? I knew him for less than 2 days, and it has nothing to do with my mission. There's also the fact that Yannis' name was crossed out in your notebook. Must we do this same song and dance routine again? No, my notebook is not a kill list or anything else. And are you not more suspicious than I? You suddenly develop a cold, and there are traces of snow in your room? Most importantly, the arrow from your drawer was found in the wound. What? You know what, Roman? It will not help you. It will not help if you hide the evidence you have, especially in this kind of situation. Hiding that from everyone is the exact thing the murderer wants you to do. even if the evidence suggests you did it. It will make you look suspicious indeed. However, we must leave no stone unturned in order to find the truth. Got it. So when exactly did you go through my drawer? Time to testify? Are you ready? I am. I am ready. Just explain the doubts one by one would be good, but can that solve this? Why was the window open? I closed my window before I went to bed last night, but when I woke up this morning the window was open. I think it's because someone opened the window. How would I catch a cold right at this time? Why now? The windows were open, so my room was flooded with cold air all night. That's why it was so cold. Then what about the arrow in the drawer? It's evidence from the last official case I was on. I came to the White Store before coming back to the agency to drop off the evidence because it was on the way. I didn't want anyone discovering it, so I hid the arrow in the drawer. The rest of the evidence in my backpack matches it. Why was the arrow inserted into Yannis' chest? The arrow should have been inserted by the murderer who sold it, based on the evidence at the moment. Am I motivated to kill Yannis? As for the motive, I don't really have one. Wait a moment! Again, didn't Yannis ask you to pay back some money yesterday? You seem nervous? You think I'd murder my friend for that little? Also, when his body was found this morning, his wallet was empty. Now that I can explain. When he paid the room fee yesterday, he asked me to take care of his extra money while he was here. Why would he do that? To prevent him from gambling again, I guess. Anyway, getting to guard such a large fortune makes me feel a bit dragonish again. That kind of makes sense. Guess I'm free of suspicion now? La victoire est mienne. What? I have figured out how the murderer committed this vicious crime. Are you seriously trying to steal my job? C'est lui, le coupable. Il a descendu, c'est sûr, il y avait de l'eau, oubliez pas, dans les marches, que Tsarn a tombé, glissé dedans. First, the murderer assembled a collapsible arrow found in Monsieur Detective's drawer. Then he tied the sting to the end of the arrow as a tether. Then he climbed outside the window and skulked like a thief to Yannis' room by using the ledge. The clever murderer opened the window, killed Yannis in his bed, then pulled the string in an attempt to retrieve the arrow. But because the arrow had been disassembled and assembled repeatedly, the arrow came apart. Quelle surprise! The murderer only received the back half of the arrow. The murderer then returned to his room along the way back, with nobody the wiser. This does explain a lot, but something seems to be missing. Roman seems really suspicious if you look at it that way. Coming to Yannis' room in that way, then returning to his room, leaving footprints on the ledge outside the window? Everyone look at me. Eyes full of doubts. I was hitting my thumbs. I need to hurry up and give an explanation or else I'll end up as the murderer. I look at Elegant, and she looked at me too. Although I believe, given to your intelligence and character, you will not commit such a crime. You had better prove it. It does make sense when you first hear it, but the evidence contradicts it. Wow, how interesting. Which evidence contradicts Lunech's guess? Bonsoir la prof, comment vas-tu? Yannis died in a barrel when our arrow was found inside his trunk. A wound cutting through. There was a strangulation mark on his neck with no other external injuries. Ça va bien, merci. Contact ça de ton côté aussi. His clothing were his key were still in his pocket, but his wallet was empty. His belt was removed and set aside. Okay. Staying on the stairs, there was a bottle of water on the stairs. Someone must have stepped on it. C'est sûr que ça prouve qu'il a pas été. Il est pas retourné dans sa chambre. Il est pas censé avoir de l'eau là. Borrowed money, no, because the wind, no, cellar earth footstep rusting outside, she heard the loudest, nope. Ok, fait que là, pour trouver, j'irai avec ça, moi. Moi, ça me non, c'est pas bon. Then shut up! Il peut pas l'avoir shoté, right? Lui, il dit... Then shut him. Il peut pas l'avoir shoté. The problem is with the body. Elegantly relieved, relaxed or tight shoulder. I found the contradiction in time, otherwise... I stared at sign and swallowed. Hey, le corps est couché sur le dos. Ok? La fenêtre est là. Mais juste, en fait, mettons là. Ok? La fenêtre est complètement à l'autre bout. Comment que la flèche peut avoir planté comme ça s'il a tiré de la fenêtre? En tout cas, c'est pas possible. La flèche aurait planté sur le côté ou sur le côté là, mais jamais là. Il peut pas avoir fait, il va tirer dans les airs pour m'espérer qu'elle rentre assez profonde, puis en plus de tout, ça a défoncé le pleurote puis tout. Puis on sentait que, comme il dit, la peau du requin est très très épaisse. Donc il faut quand même une bonne force pour l'avoir fait rentrer. I don't think Yanis was killed by the arrow. Why was Yanis' death was not caused by the arrow injury? The arrow reached pleura, no. The wound bleeded little. Strange mark on it. Because the wound was hardly bleeding. That, plus the marking on his neck, suggests Yanis' cause of death was suffocation. How much difference could a different cause of death make? A lot, because it suggests that the arrow in his chest was used to throw suspicion on me and muddle the actual evidence. And this method seems familiar to me. Where have I seen lineage theory before? All found near balconies or windows, blablabla, blablabla. Regarde ça ici, regarde ça. Fait que la seule personne qui peut avoir vu ça, c'est quelqu'un qui a fouillé dans mes affaires, right? You know, the case I completed in Sunnyvale seemed very similar to your guess. What are you about, Mr. Detective? Whether it's the bow and arrow, or the method of recovering the weapon with a string, don't you think it's too similar to be described as a mere coincidence? Some scholars believe that criminals tend to commit crimes following familiar methodologies. Par conséquent, it's not surprising that you would do this. But there are others here who, like me, are familiar with this case. Oh non! T'es-tu dans le texte en mandarin, ça? Parce qu'on a aucune idée c'est qui peut être. Oh non! Oh non, d'après moi c'est les deux, parce qu'on a fait une case pour eux autres, right? Sunnyvale! C'est vrai ça, c'est les autres. One of them is Solar. Puis l'autre c'est Lunich. It was Lunich. You were there on the day I solved the case, and I also reported to you in detail about even this investigation. If someone could frame me in this way, it can only be one of you. Impossible! Neither my husband nor I... Neither my husband nor I are that kind of... But shouldn't your window be locked? Unless the culprit came through your room. Of course not. This is all wrong. Why are you so sure? Very simple, because you said the murderer opened the window, killed Yanis on his bed with the arrow, then pulled the string to retrieve the arrow. Now that the murderer can open Yanis' window, could it be so difficult for him to also open mine? Then, how did he open it? Just guessing should not be enough to be admissible as evidence. The window was a drop-up lock. If he inserted a sufficiently thin, hard object through the window gap, like a dagger, he could push the lock lever away from the locked position. An old dagger, guys, an old dagger. It's not that difficult, right? However, you and the Grey Cat are still the only two suspects. My name is Elegant. Also, I suddenly realized something. The scope of the suspect was wrong, because we were wrong about the suspect's starting point this whole time. What starting point? The starting point where the suspect climbed out from inside the room onto the ledge. Where did the suspect move to the outside? Logiquement, ça serait Roman. Il n'y avait rien d'autre. The suspect moved to the outside from the window in my room. Wasn't that you? Sorry, wrong sequence. Hey, why do you keep saying something that doesn't matter? I'm sorting out my ideas. Sort out your ideas? I think you're just thinking about how to scapegoat someone. Ever since we found Yanni's corpse, your actions have been really suspicious. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, Roman. No, What? What? Before I could explain, Sarn rushed forward and hosed me off the ground, and his claw around my neck. My feet kicked endlessly in the air as my vision swam, and a buzzing filled my ears. Elegant drew a dagger from her waist and rushed at Sarn. Her mouth was wide open as if she were shouting something. I could feel the blood spatter from Sarn's injured arm, but his grip didn't lose its strength. If anything, it tightened. My vision grew darker. I couldn't hear what she was screaming as the world seemed to fall away. The last thing I could see as the world went black was the light glinting from the tears on Sarn's mouth. Tu me freaking guys! Well. Ok, wow. Wow. M'attendais pas à ça. Ok, on va passer rapidement tout ce qu'on sait déjà. Boum. Ok. Oh mon dieu. Attendez un peu. Ok. Ça c'est le ladder, fait que c'est turn. On va passer vite fait. Ouais, ok. Ça, c'est l'autre avec le Titch. Il est où le Titch? On va passer ça vite fait, ça donne absolument rien de tout relayer ça, c'est exactement... Okay, strictly speaking, yes, I did have a possible motive. Because last night, Yanis asked me to pay him back some money and the evidence at the scene, which piece of evidence proves that I'm motivated. T'as peu. Voyons. The clothes on Yanis' nightstand made me very concerned. What's odd about the clothes on Yanis' nightstand? His wallet is empty. I could have been angry because he asked me for money, then killed him while he was asleep and took back my money. But that really just a little bit. Now that I can explain. When he paid the room fee yesterday, he asked me to take care of his extra money while he was there. Why would he do that? To prevent him from gambling again, I guess? Anyway, getting to guard such a large fortune makes me feel a bit ruggedish. Again, that... Ouais, ça on l'a déjà dit. Okay. Bon. C'était quoi déjà, là? Bon, ok. Oui, c'est le corps. The problem is with the body, blablabla. Ok, fait que là, on est revenu. On est revenu là. Fait que c'est l'ancienne case. Ok. Les deux seuls qui peuvent le savoir, c'est ces deux-là. On y est retourné vite quand même. Il serait débarqué de la pièce de Yanich, right? C'est pour ça que les pas étaient plus enfoncés. The suspect moved to the outside from the window in Yanis' lair, in Yanis' room. The suspect was in Yanis' room from the beginning. After strangling Yanis, the criminal climbed out of the window and made their way towards my room. After removing the window lock from the outside, they checked my nightstand and backpack, took the arrow, and returned to Yanis' room. They stabbed the arrow into Yanis' chest and climbed out the window again. C'est absurde! Hold it! What? No. Was it not established that the suspect can only return to their room through the window from the outside, right? The range of suspects hasn't changed at all. Nope, the criminal went to another room. From which window did the suspect leave the outside? The suspect left the outside through the window in Vincent's room. Vincent's room is now empty. They could just jump in from there. I think Soren didn't lock that room last night. It seemed I didn't. In that case, it makes sense. Wait, please. If you think that mere words are enough to prove... Nope, I have the conclusive evidence. Which piece of evidence can prove that the murderer left from Vincent's room? Was not open and there were water stains on the steel. Please check Vincent's window out. Although the window is closed now, there is a puddle of water on the windowsill. That means... Why was the water on the windowsill? It's Vincent's role. Yeah, right. When the murderer entered the room, they brought the snow outside into the room. Moreover, the murderer went downstairs. What evidence can prove that the murderer went downstairs? You. There was a puddle of water on the stairs. Someone must have stepped in it before it fell. There are water stains on the stairs. It shows that the snow on the murderer was tracked on the stairs. Now that you said that no one came downstairs last night, I think it's already clear who the culprit is. Haha, nice. Ok, guys. Weapon en premier? Ah ouais, intéressant. Hey, reviens ici, reviens. Pourquoi il voulait pas y frame it? First, let's talk about the weapon. What is the weapon? Il est où son linge? Here's the little weapon. It's Yannis' belt. He has been a strangulation mark on his neck, and I believe that's what caused them. The arrow was stuck in him after his death. Come on. Je vous l'avais dit que c'est le marquis, le meurtrier. Here's how things played out. Arranger, ouais, ok. Fait que là, pour arranger ça dans l'ordre chronologique, il y a 5 cases à remplir, 7 possibilités. Bon, on sait toutes qu'il y en a 2 qui seront pas là, ok? The suspect took Yannis wallet away. Non, c'est pas vrai. The suspect strangled Yannis with a belt. Oui. The suspect went back and used the arrow. Ça, c'est vrai. The suspect left Vincent's room. Right. The suspect killed Yannis with the arrow. Ça, c'est pas vrai. Fait que celui-là et le 1 sont pas vrais. The suspect entered Yannis' room through the door. The suspect entered Roman's room to collect the arrow. Ok. Boom. Strangled avec la belt. Donc, il l'a étranglé. Il est rentré par la porte. Il l'a étranglé par la suite. Le suspect a été cherché dans ma chambre l'arrow. Ensuite de ça, il est parti puis il a utilisé l'arrow. Après ça, il est quitté par la chambre de Vincent. This is the sequence of events. Good. Le suspect. The murderer is... Who is the murderer? Lunich is the murderer. What are you talking about? Mr. Detective! Please! I'll explain this whole case, including your motive and your tricks. You will cease this slander immediately, or I... Sorry, Marquis, but I have to. The motive. About the motive. According to our inference, you entered Yannis' room through the door. Now, here's the question. Why did you enter his room at midnight? It seemed that you two had a long conversation when deciding who would be the night watchman. And Yannis is naked. Stop! Shut up! Why was Yannis naked? Lunik took off his clothes. If he was intending to cover up the crime scene, it was unnecessary to undress Yannis. No, Lunik took off Yannis' clothes when he was still alive. Are you trying to imply something? It's entirely possible that Lunik and Yannis were involved in an homosexual affair. That's impossible! How could someone be like that? If it is that true, my husband will never... So you mean to say Lunik had sex with Yannis before he killed him? They hesitated, but continued anyway. There, I asked who was on top. Oh mon Dieu. I don't believe. Silence. You dare slander moi? You have no evidence. You will be punished by God for your lies. No evidence? Then what do you call this? Elegant raised our paws, showing a pinch of grey fur. I found it on the bed. No, I made sure. Et voilà, qu'est fait mon cher. Back to the mot, tu sais. Je sais pas si c'est une faute, mais c'est quand même très drôle. Comment qu'on peut savoir le motif pour vrai, guys? Le robbery of money, c'est impossible, ok? Parce que l'argent, oui, il était pas dans le wallet, mais il l'avait donné à Zorn. Est-ce qu'il était vraiment blackmailed par Yanis? Je ne crois pas. À moins que Yanis avait quelque chose d'information dessus. D'après moi, c'est plus un personal grudge. Dans le fond, je sais pas. Pour moi, c'est plus un personal grudge. Lunich did it for a personal grudge, so... If you win the personal grudge was a special experience which was given by your chart? Stop. Oh, what? I'm guessing Lunich was blackmailed by Yanis. So to prevent his secret from coming to light, Lunich had to kill him. It would be easy, given how much alcohol and Valerian potion Yanis had consumed. To say nothing of the vigorous workout, that too. Anyway, even Yanis could be strangled to death under those conditions. Bon, ok. Je pense pas qu'il se faisait blackmail, pour vrai. In other words. Case playback, let's go. Last evening, Lunich and Yanis agreed to meet in Yanis' room that night. When everyone was asleep, Lunich quietly went upstairs and came to Yanis' door. Did Yanis lock the door? Left unlocked. Yanis didn't lock the door. If he didn't lock the door, what if someone caught them in the act? Était-tu barré ou était pas barré? Hey, ça, c'est une information qui me manque, je me rappelle pas en tout. After that, Yanis made some demand in exchange for keeping the secret. Oh god, ok, c'est le même qui l'a blackmailed. What was Lunich's reaction? In order to not be blackmailed, Lunich strangled Yanis from behind with a belt on the bedside, leaving the marks on his neck. While thinking about how to find a scapegoat, Lunich remembered the case I solved. So Lunich climbed out of Yanis' windows, made his way down to the ledge to my room, lifted up the window lock, and opened the window into my room. He took the arrow from a drawer, returned to Yanis' rooms, put the dead body into a sleep position, then stabbed him with the arrow to make a wound. Then he left the room through the window, opened Vincel's window, and returned home from the unoccupied Vincel's room. He brought the snow outside into the room, leaving a puddle of water after it melted the next day. The snow on him fell when Lunich went downstairs, so there was melted snow on the stairs. Je sais pas ce que ça veut dire. The next day, Tarn stepped on that puddle when he went downstairs and slipped. Oh, Tarn. A clever trick, but you underestimate me too much. Ok, pas content. Ok, pas content. Magnifique, Monsieur Detective. Well done. You're not going to deny it? Why should I? It seems you know your situation well. Je sais bien, but it doesn't matter. Whether I deny it or not, you can't touch me. What are you saying? You murdered someone, so Roman can sentence you? None of you are of the nobility. Oh, you don't even have a proper judge right now. What are you? The Elias Code stipulates that a common-born judge may not sit in judgment over a noble. Remember, I told you this earlier. Wouldn't it be possible to? If you so much think I'd try to tie me up with that feline merchant, I will see to it that your business is destroyed. How could this be? Does this mean this whole investigation was in vain? Do you understand? Then I suggest you all forget this ever happened. And they sneered at us like we were insects. Yes, I killed that useless muscle-bound hoe. What of it? My only regret, Mr. Detective, is that you and your cat friends are so good at ferreting out extramartial affairs. What? Last night, Yanis and I The sneer froze in a look of shock, and a dark red stain began to spread across his forest green coat. The dark green coat made the red blood look even darker. I thought his malice was leaking out of the wound. You! Unix collapsed. Unix collapsed onto the carpet, and blood from the stab wound slowly pulled under him. Là, on a un problème. Solar vient de tuer quelqu'un aussi. The bloody knives clattered onto the floor. Solar stood still, but tears dripped down through her fur. Fait que tu penses, la preuve que mon changement de ton est bien. Tant mieux, ça me fait plaisir d'entendre. Oh, what happened? I don't know. Solar dropped down, squatting beside Lunik, who was still convulsing and letting out garbled gasps. Thorn took a half step forward, but I quickly stopped him. What are you doing? Thorn glared at me, his voice a snarl of anger. No, don't. It's not safe to approach now. But the Marquis, even if you want to do something, a stab wound like that is fatal. I'm sorry, I didn't know it would be like this. While Solar was waiting, Elegant quietly approached and picked up her dropped red dagger. Je pensais qu'elle était là. Darling, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really don't want to. Huey ran down the stairs, carrying his first aid kit, pushing Erin out of the way as he started to rush to the neck. I'm sorry. Solar collapsed on the carpet, and Trivia ran to her and turned her over. She just fainted. It's fine. What about Lunich? Trivia put his hand on Lunich's chest, then his throat, then sighed and shook his head. I'm afraid he's gone. God has his own arrangement. One case down, one more too. I don't think you so. Why? You already forgot? According to the Elos Code, a common-born judge may not sit in judgment over a noble. As a marquis, Solar is also sheltered by the statute. In other words, we can't legally do anything about Solar. And I see no reason to. But she literally just killed. But there is nothing I can do now. Whatever I say doesn't matter. Solar, woke up. Okay, I talked with her. Solar was sprawled ungracefully in an armchair by the fire, and didn't look at me as I approached her. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Care to tell me what's going on with that dagger you're carrying? The dagger? It was a gift from my mother the night before I got married. She told me... Mother, why are you so late? I had the hope I could give this to you before you were wed. Here, take this. This is a dagger? The night before I married your father, my mother gave it to me. Like her mother before her. Good, bonne nuit Majestic, merci d'être passé. J'espère que tu as eu du plaisir. Why did she give you a dagger? This is no ordinary dagger. This is a memento. A talisman that will ensure your husband remains faithful and kind. Dangerous go along take this, ouais, vraiment. I see. Thank you, mother. Make sure to keep it close. I suggest hiding it in the inner pocket of your dress, like I do. I know the dagger was actually magical, but it did the job one way or another. Then why did you? Suddenly I feel that this isn't a good question. I don't know. Salut Picky Rogers, j'espère que ça va bien. T'étais dans l'ombre, y'a aucun problème mon cher. Je te souhaite une excellente nuit, merci d'être passé faire un tour. When it was gloating like that, I just saw red. Why didn't you tell me? I thought he acted like this because he was worried, or under stress, or the financial pressure. I always thought that if I helped share the burden, give him time to rest, then he would. Merci à toi, et encore une fois, bonne nuit. Connor ducked her head and whimpered. It was like my body moved on instinct. When I came to, I was already holding a knife and standing behind him. Is this the point where you tell me the verdict? Truth be told, I can't do anything. Also, I'd like to see you accept the punishment you deserve. My paws are tied. When the snow stops, I hand you over to the proper authorities. Thank you. Go back to your room. I'd bring you some food later. Since so much has happened, I'd wagger you'd prefer to be alone right now. Start handing me a key. Indeed. Thank you, detective. Sarah took the key, delicately wiped her eye, and silently went upstairs. I figured you want to tie her hands at least. No need for that, I think. I'd probably have done the same thing if I was in her position. Besides, I'm not used to being so rude to lady. It's not unreasonable. Turned aside and sat in the chair opposite to me. Can't believe something like that happened. It's not like you could have known. And yet yes, I really can't imagine it. As a drinking buddy of his for so long, I even didn't realize. Then again, maybe he didn't want to let others know that. I don't quite believe your reasoning. Yanis wasn't the kind of guy who would blackmail someone. I don't think so either. But from Lunich's point of view, it was probably his only option. He couldn't just risk the scandal getting out. Frank stood up and dust his hand. Bonne nuit à toi, la frère. Merci et surtout un gros merci d'être passé. À la prochaine, mon cher. I should go fix Hunch. Peter strolled toward me, his expression hostile. You didn't say that you would protect everyone? What? First came, then last, now it is. Evan, are you doing this on purpose? Peter was shouting, loud enough that the other guests in the hall looked over. It's not like I can just magically... Bullshit! For all we know, you're just manipulating us so we can satisfy your desires to some others. Do you seriously hear what you're saying right now? You think I enjoy watching the people I care about die? You think anybody, least of all me, is happy with what's been going on? Sorry. Peter took 2 steps back, then turned and bolted upstairs. It's too hot by the earth. Let's choose another place. By the earth? Ouais, probablement faire du foyer, là, mais en tout cas, c'est spécial comme choix de... Ouais, c'est sûr que c'est ça. Let's choose another place. The only remaining trace of Lunach's presence had been reduced to a few red smears on the carpet. Hardly a satisfying solution, I guess. By the way, this is for you. Elegant handed me a collection of grey hairs and winked. What? I took it out of the wash stands. You what? A thank you should suffice. A thank you? Is it really necessary to shout, Roman? You lied to me, present fake evidence, and still want me to thank you? Cow, calm down. No need for that. You were this close to ruining my entire career, and you want me to thank you? Oh, Roman, don't conceal evidence. And then you just took my hair and pretended it was Lunich too? Ah! I stomped upstairs and decided not to go downstairs until it was time to eat. I slammed the door shut behind me and fell onto the bed, burying my muzzle in the pillow. I heard footsteps hurrying upstairs, but I didn't care. Mon beau requin. We still have a long time before dawn. Not to spoil the mood or anything, but your wife is literally just down the hall. Bah, she is unimportant right now. Yeah, but if she catches us, then you're completely screwed, you know? I mean, her family's pretty influential in Cordoba, and a marquis getting railed by a dock worker ain't the sort of thing the reputation recovers from. Don't get me wrong, I'd still love you if you were just some painless bum on the street. But just in case, it might be a smart idea to set up a little something between us, just as a backup. And how, Bobo, will she find out, hmm? Well, given how much noise you make, I'm surprised she hasn't noticed by now. Oh, come on! I'm just messing with you, Looney. Ah, yes, teasing me you are. I mean, you're always such a tease. Then perhaps it's my turn to take the initiative. Well. Climb on top, then. Climb on up, je sais bien. Oh mon dieu, essayez de lire ça. Elegant, quelque chose. J'ai juste pu lire le elegant à l'envers. Comment voulez-vous lire ça pour vrai? Sincèrement. I needed to eat something. Sérieusement, guys. Je sais pas si vous avez eu le temps de lire quoi que ce soit, là, mais ça passe vite de même. Le chapitre est passé. On est rendu à chapitre 4. Je suis pas capable de lire. Est-ce que j'ai réussi à en lire un de la gang? Même le prologue, je suis même pas sûr que j'ai réussi à le lire. En tout cas, c'est pas super important. Ah. Il reste plus grand monde. Il reste vraiment plus grand monde. I locked the door and walked downstairs. Peter was sitting across from Aaron, his ears dropping down and his eyes bloodshot, like he had just finished crying. Or maybe it was stress. Aaron was scrutinizing him from across the table, elbows on the table and fingers interlaced. He wouldn't have looked out of place talking in the confession booth. Soren was quietly scrubbing an already spotless mug behind the bar, his expression vacant. Phoebe was staring down at his grimoire. Thought through the lack of turning pages suggested he wasn't reading. Sutter was seated in the corner of the tavern, with a glass in her hands, the fur on her cheeks matted. Fortunately, no one wanted what had come. Who should I sit with? Bon, on va commencer avec Attaque Solar. Elle est seule. I sat across from Solar. She raised her head, hesitated for a while, then put the half-empty cup of ale down. Thank you. I shrugged. Solar paid no attention and continued. I don't know why I did it. I just... Everyone says that. Most people who kill in the heat of passion barely remember the actual act itself. I just couldn't tolerate it anymore. How could someone who seemed so innocent change so suddenly? Solar was wringing her hands and leaned forward. On s'entend que les deux, déjà là, n'avaient pas l'air d'avoir une très bonne complicité depuis qu'on les a vus interagir du moins dans la taverne. Ils se sont pognés à plusieurs reprises. On les a écoutés, on les a eavesdrop, donc on a mis notre oreille sur le bord de la porte pour savoir qu'est-ce qui se passait quand ils se chicanaient. Ça avait l'air de brasser pas mal, puis ça concernait quelqu'un qui était dans la taverne, puis il avait pas l'air d'être content. Peut-être que c'était Yanis. Il était peut-être pas content que Yanis soit là parce qu'il y avait quelque chose par rapport à lui. T'sais, justement, peut-être que Solar était peut-être... Elle pouvait pas être au courant pour... peut-être qu'elle pouvait se douter des choses. Mais en tout cas, ça faisait peut-être pas référence à lui. Ça faisait référence à quelqu'un qui était là. Du moins, encore vivant. Donc, ça s'était déjà pogné là. Quand ils se sont assis tantôt, il avait pas l'air d'être face à face comme que le texte disait, mais il avait l'air d'être plus dos à dos, enragés l'un contre l'autre. Donc, c'est pas étonnant que ça soit arrivé à ce style-là. Ils ont l'air de s'être poussés à bout les deux. Donc, en tout cas. How did I not? She howled, but finally didn't speak out. If you were in my position then, would you have? I looked her directly in the eyes. The moment her gaze locked, she turned to look away. I see. Solar drained the rest of her hair in an dignified gulp, then got up and left. A good detective has to control their passions, even if giving into them would be more satisfying. Okay, on va aller à Thorn and Phoebe. Okay? I sat down at the bar. Thorn had picked up another cup to scrub and was idly talking to Phoebe. Surely it is. It's unbelievable that someone like Solar would do something like that. I couldn't believe it myself. But then again, It's not surprising a lady from Cordoba would do that. Isn't it a tad gauche to judge someone based on their parentage? It's custom, not parentage. Turned the cup down on the bar and leaned forward, tapping the wood of the bar with his index finger. If the jersey... Ouais, dedans. Ça, là, quand je commence à me mêler de même dans mes mots, là, c'est parce qu'il tape une gorgée de quelque chose, n'est-ce pas? Here the judge's theory is to believe. Cordoban ladies tend to deal with unfaithful spouses in a very direct manner. And how would a tavern owner this far north know such a thing? He really frowned at Sarn, his expression quizzical. Secret, like the recipe of my cider. Sarn shrugged his shoulders and walked into the kitchen. I sat down at an unoccupied table next to Peter. Peter had already stopped crying and was talking to Erin in a trembling voice. It's quite alright. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. God will never abandon any of his children. But it's so selfish of me. If I really do so, I will may danger you. Put me in danger? Yes! Put you in danger. By the blessing of God, I fear no such danger. Such bravery is God's gift for my service to his children. So don't worry, just say whatever this request is. I can't sleep in my room. With the idea that Kane's killer was only one wall away from me, But a changed room would just put him nearer to where Kane passed away, wouldn't it? Don't worry. You need no fear, not fear of any restless spirits, as I have given them the proper rights. They are where they're supposed to be. It's not that I don't believe you. I'm just afraid. Father, can I change the room with you tonight? Aaron scratched his head and sighed. Who am I to refuse such a small request from someone in need? We can exchange room after dinner tonight. Sarn pushed the curtain to the kitchen aside with his horn and came out with a pot. Alright everyone, lunchtime! What do you all want? There are... There are not a lot to choose from, so we have only meat stew for now, and if that doesn't agree with your appetite, then too bad. So it's either eat or don't eat. How nice to give us a choice. And if you're wondering about the flavor, I went a bit overboard with the seasoning. No other reason. I'm guessing that first isn't exactly palatable. Sarn spooned the stew carefully into the bowl and collected the last bits of broth into the last bowl. Bon appetit! Everyone eat up! Sarn put a wooden bowl in front of me, then walked to the round table where Stellar was sitting. Peters was poking at his stew, trying to find any vegetable in it. Ok guys, entre vous pis moi, le fait que Erin pis Peter vont switch up de chambre, ça va faire qu'un des deux va mourir. Lequel? C'est qui la cible? Est-ce que c'est vont se tromper de cible à cause de ça? C'est un mystère. Wow! Il était capable de me mettre un cheveu dans la bouche. Yeah. Huey was holding his bowl and sipping the broth gently, and occasionally sparing a glance at Erin, who was devouring the stew. Sarn turned back and took the last bowl of broth down the cellar. I put the wooden spoon aside and held the bowl to my mouth with both hands. Suddenly, a heavy thudding sound came from upstairs. What in the world? The corridor was empty, and every door was closed firmly. Lodgers followed one by one to see what had made the noise from the attic. Oh! Ouch! Stupid limp legs! He's awake! Phoebe squeezed past me and hurried up the ladder into the attic. And he wonders why people mistake him from being a kid. When I climbed up into the attic, Trivy had lifted Anzax up from the floor and had him seated on the edge of the bed. On va peut-être savoir en fait c'est quoi la vraie raison pourquoi que Kevin Saul a voulu l'éliminer. Phew! Much obliged. I'm just glad you're finally awake. I was worried you wouldn't wake up. Was it really that serious? Trivy was nibbling on his index finger as he nodded. I slept. How long was I asleep? It's been... Trivy quickly calculated on his finger. A little over a day or so. And here I thought I'd wake up to find Helios Tree seated on the throne. Well, I doubt that. Before he could finish, Anzac clamped Trivy's mouth shut. Take care with your words, or we... Between the heavy snow and the dwindling population, I think we'll be fine. What did you say? Between the heavy snow? No, the last part. What do you mean, dwindling population? Well, the fact is... Well, while you were unconscious, there was another incident. Anzac's hands stiffened. What? What happened? Who? Who was? It's... yeah... Wait, don't tell me. I'm starving. Please tell me where there's something available. I'd rather face tragedy with a full belly. Ah yes, there is. Tree glanced at me and raised his eyebrows. I had to admit I wasn't used to seeing eyebrows on a dragon, but given how fluffy he was, it made sense he had eyebrows. I looked into the stew pot. It was completely empty. It was so clean that I almost suspected that Siren had thoroughly licked the pot. I should probably check his swear, but Trivy's stew and mine are out of touch. Both stew. Okay. Take whose stew? I took my bowl and walked upstairs slowly. A few white paws reached down from the bowl. I stood up on my tiptoes and ended up to him. Hi! I can feed myself, thank you! You'll do such a thing? Do you remember what happened when you tried to stand up under your own power? No, now hush! Trivy was putting the broth into Enza's mouth. In your current state, all you end up doing is spilling it all over the bed. Truly? Then if nothing else, I will have an easy midnight snack. I doubt Sarn would I agree with you. Well... Coucou Hassan! Comment vas-tu? No problem. C'est pas grave que tu sois en retard. Tu sais, comme toujours, si tu veux voir la suite, c'est tout dessus dans les vidéos en demande. Donc, techniquement, rien manqué. C'est sûr que là, si t'écoutes à partir de là, t'as manqué tout le début, mais quand même, t'es toujours rattrapable. Content que ça aille bien de ton côté, moi aussi ça va bien. Bon, en tout cas. Well, time to look around. I should be able to peek in someone's room if they're not there. I look around and quietly open a slit in the nightstand drawer to peek inside. Was it really just a set of women's underwear? I immediately closed the drawer. Je pensais pas pour être là. Qui sait qu'on pourrait fouiller pour vrai? Peter? Je pense pas qu'il y ait grand chose. Erin and Peter were exchanging rooms. I wait until they finish. On peut fouiller dans les Marquis Solar the Gauge. I can open it without our consent. Although the biggest reason is that I couldn't open the lock. Ah, les deux c'est la même affaire. Ben non. Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose de nouveau? The only thing in that drawer is that a notebook. I'm sick of seeing it. It's quelque chose d'autre dans le sac. There was a set of ordinary clothes in the bag. Nothing that would make you stand out in the crowd like wearing them. The last thing anyone in our profession would want is a uniform. After all, you never knew when you would need to hide in the crowd. Fait qu'il y a rien d'autre à regarder. Personne, ok? Fallait fouiller dans les affaires de Vincel, mais ça donne pas grand chose. There are 2 sets of fine clothing and a wooden box with various spice samples in it. There was also a stack of fabric samples, but none of them felt as nice as Vincel's own cloth. Okay. Charge stood at the counter, and the way was too narrow to pass. The hall was empty, there was only Tsarn, who had just put the kitchen in order and was standing behind the counter, and Sir was avoiding his gaze in silence. Hi! I can imagine what caused this indiscretion. Was he always this way? And I just failed to see it? Have I grown too old? Or too thin? Or too fat for his liking? Or was it just that I no longer excited him? No, not to interrupt. But it's probably not your fault. Perhaps, but I can't help but think that if we hadn't argued before, he wouldn't have. Not to speak ill of the dead, but someone who cheats is going to cheat, no matter what the reason. No need to beat yourself up about it. Who else would I blame then? It's impossible for me to push all of the responsibility onto him. Now I was getting curious. How could someone who seemed as meek and gentle as Sutter ram a dagger so deep into Lunach's body? Spoiler alert, Christian! He isn't totally to blame either. It wouldn't have been so bad if the laws of Apollyon were a bit more lenient. Lenient? A lenient law won't constrain anything. That's not always a bad thing. For example, according to the laws here in Apollyon, sex between males is a major crime. If it wasn't, he wouldn't have felt the need to marry you to hide his true self. Hide his true self? Sutter lowered her head and turned the ring around and around in her paws. Est-ce que c'est la même chose? Ah ouais, ça me va pas. Ok. Retournez dans l'attique. Ah non, ça c'est encore là. Very well. So, why was I struck by the ladder? Sabotage. Vincel broke the handle so that the ladder fell down at the slightest touch. What? I don't know him at all. What made him do such a thing? I don't know. Roman, did Roman not tell you why? He doesn't know either. Wait, you mean that Roman doesn't know why Vincel want to kill me? Yes. Vincel is bound in the cellar and refused to say anything. Help me out of his bed. I want to meet him. It's useless. Well, I would like to go downstairs anyway. I left some of my things downstairs. Then, I fetch it for you. Describe the items, please. You. Ah! On va retourner dans ma chambre. On peut-tu fermer la fenêtre, s'il vous plaît? Why is the snow still falling? I don't know. Mais ferme la maudite fenêtre pour qu'on soit capable de dormir. The drawer contains the arrow stained in Yannis' blood. Most arrows only kill one person. I guess it should feel honored by to be involved in 2 murders. C'est pas le toi qui disais de la fermer. Ah. Sérieux, ça aurait été magique que tu dises ça, pis oup, la fenêtre se ferme, ça aurait été fou. There were only some boring clothes in the bag. Nothing at a glance would suggest that the bag's owner was a detective. 2 shirts, one white and one blue, in the same texture and style, and a pair of pants. Pas vrai qu'ils me font chercher pour vrai. On retourne dans la chambre de Yannis. Oh mon dieu, tout a été rangé. The drawer was empty. Zorn must have emptied it. He in his bed. Looked like it moved a little. It probably made a lot of noise. Snow drifted out on the wind into the window and flew along the rising air. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je fasse, bâton? On a déjà été dans dans Elegant. On a été dans Vincel, on était dans la mienne. On était dans la chambre. On peut pas aller là. Kane, même s'il n'y a rien à voir dans Kane, tu sais. Kane's nightstand was empty. Qu'est-ce que je dois faire? On va aller dans la toilette, hein. It seems there's someone inside. They weren't making any noise, but my instinct told me so. Knock on the door. I don't hear any sound inside. I'm probably mistaken. Allez, jamais 203. Allez, réponds! Come on! Au bout de... Oh non! S'il y a quelqu'un à l'intérieur, c'est élégant. J'espère qu'elle est pas morte. J'ai rien à faire, moi là. On peut-tu retourner en haut, voir s'il y a quelqu'un qui ont fini? Ah! Ils ont-tu encore... Non, c'est encore la même affaire. Aaron and Peter was helping rooms. I am not interested in helping. I heard the wooden door slowly open. I turned around and stepped back, holding my breath and trying not to look too tense. Detective, it's dinner time. I nodded and quickly followed. Fallait qu'on soit dans le corridor pour que ça marche. Phoebe pushed open the door, glanced quickly about the room, and tilted his head. Go downstairs when you're ready. I'll wait. I nodded and left the room with him. The tavern's atmosphere was a bit brighter since Edux had returned, and a long-absent smile had returned to Zorn's face. I sat down at the table by the hearth, opposite to Fenzux and Peter. Ha! I suppose it was today that it was I who was struck by the ladder, and not someone else. Don't say that! True, you don't have so much fame, or money, or success right now, but... actually, I meant that it's because I have my skelly armor. Otherwise, well... Peter froze with his mouth half open, as though his brain was catching up to his jaw. I mean, you're also right about the other stuff. Oui, j'ai changé la voix de Enzax parce que je trouvais sa place, j'avais plus de voix grave. Tout le monde est mort. Zorn said 3 bowls of stew in front of us. The stew seemed a bit lower in quality than before. En fait, la voix de Enzax était aiguë, mais je me rappelle plus comment je la faisais, mais ça fait 2 streams qu'on la fait pas. I could see how stringy the meat was without even trying. Enjoy your meal. Easy for him to say. You need strong jaws to eat this. Enzax set his bowl to his mouth and poured the content down his throat. I could have sworn he didn't even chew it. Peter slowly picked up a piece of meat, wrinkled his nose, and took a bite. I'd imagine Zorn's produce reserve were already empty, but in our current situation, being picky wasn't an option. After chewing for a long time, he turned his head and watched Enzax lick the bottom of the bowl. Still hungry? By any chance? Of course. You think a dragon's appetite could be so easily satisfied? Peter slowly pushed his bowl to Enzax while using his body to block the movement of his hands from being seen by Zorn. Besides, I was hungry before and I missed Christmas dinner. I swear, I'd eat a horse, saddle and all at this point. C'est pas mal ça que tu manges, mon cher. Then you'll probably like this too. Enzax grabbed the bowl in front of him and poured the second bowl of stew into his mouth. After dinner, everyone stayed in the hall. No one wanted to be the first to go upstairs, so everyone sat silently in their seat, staring at each other with the sound of snow and wind outside the window. Now that everyone is free, how about we decide on the night watch candidate for tonight? On a vu que ça portait fruit, hein? As soon as Hendrik started to raise his hands, Phoebe glared at him. You may have slept all day and night, but that is no reason for you to do a vigil before you fully recover. As the resident doctor, I suggest you rest until your scales have healed. Don't even think about it. Well, well, well. What a troublesome doctor you are. Well, I'm not so troublesome. You would be dead. Were I not so troublesome, you would be dead. I can do it. I am the tavern owner, and before you finish speaking, sorry that was interrupted, but a great yarn. Never mind. I raise my hand. I can indulge it if nobody else wants. Don't you have a cold? It's fine. It's just a cold. I can tell by your voice that your throat must be sore. Are you sure? Don't worry. I'm fine. I adjust my color. It should be difficult tonight. Everyone went upstairs, one after another, and I did too. I had to go back to my room to get something. Thorn followed me, and we went upstairs together. I got into the room, and I could hear the sound of keys turning and lock clicking coming from the hall. I settled down and prepared to spend the night awake. It wouldn't be too difficult to hear anything happening upstairs, so I might as well be here. In all aspects, in fact, this room was the most suitable place to keep watch. Just can't fall asleep. C'est sûr que c'est endormi. C'est sûr que c'est endormi, guys. Jour 5, 27 décembre 1285. Just cannot fall asleep. There was a loud, sudden knock, and my eyes snapped open. Oh no! I fell asleep! I quickly got up from the bed and hurried to open the door. Ben oui, mais pourquoi tu t'es installé sur le lit? You're fine, too? Il y a du sang, guys. I looked into the corridor from the crack of the door, only to find that there were several dark brown footprints on the corridor leading towards the spiral staircase. Damn, that's just Steve Peter! Before I could react, Sarn took a hand from the keychain, but the key failed to enter the keyhole. What the? Maybe this one? After several failed attempts, Sarn growled and used his shoulder to burst open the door. The door slammed open. No! Peter! Blood. That was the only thing that would fill my thought at this point. The door swung open, and the thick, sticky miasma of fresh blood flowed out, spreading from the blood-splattered wall. A pool of blood at the door was evenly smeared by the bottom of the door, painting through some arc. Peter was lying peacefully in his bed, a ham knife sticking out of his chest. The blood flowing from the wound was gelled, and stuck to the fur of his trunk without falling. No trace of a struggle, no scream for help, no shocked expression. A quick, precise, painless death. That was the only comfort I had, and the only thought that kept me sane and aware in the face of such a brutal scene. Sarn stood there, numbly, and let's say, des traces de patin, come on guys. His hand fell back from the doorknob as he stepped into the room, and his foot. Tu sais, t'as juste à comparer les traces de panthère, landing on a half-dried, bloody footprint. How could he have so much blood? It was as if every word had to squirm free from his gritted teeth. Sarn bent forward and slammed to the ground, and the impact from his body even shook the wooden beams that held up the ceiling. Anzax and Treevy ran from the side, holding his shoulder to help him up. Solar gritted their teeth and leaned against the wall. Erin moved to help her, but Sorg waved him away. Wait, one person is missing. I raced downstairs to the lobby. Yet Santa, the fire was out. Footprints stretched all the way from the stairwell and stopped in front of the counter. the dark red stained carpet and the wooden floor. Roman was lying on the counter, with his back undulating, and he slept soundly. Roman was lying on the counter, with his back undulating, and he slept soundly. The bottom of his boot was covered with brown, black, colored blood. Roman? C'est pas nous autres, Roman? And a fine powder was constantly peeling off the boot. Roman! Taking care to avoid the footprints, I rushed to his side and shook him vigorously. Wait, what? Quand est-ce qu'on a switché à Elegant, guys? Quand est-ce qu'on est devenu Elegant? Là, je comprends plus rien. Je comprends plus rien. What happened? You fell asleep. Comment je pouvais savoir? Quand je jouais Elegant, pour vrai. What? I fell asleep? What time is it? There's one other matter. Is that blood on the floor? Before he could speak, Roman crawled off the counter, then froze. His horrified gaze followed the blood to the ground, on the ground, from the staircase to his boots. Peter is dead. This wasn't me. Really? Why would I kill? You believe me, right? And I felt a rough scale claw rest on my shoulder. We need to talk. Now. Someone grabbed my arm and dragged me to the staircase. He whispered in my ear. Elegant, I need your help. Have you ever done detective work? Once? Good enough. It should be obvious, but Roman's the prime suspect right now. Nobody's going to believe a word he says, much less let him investigate. So you need to do it instead. He passed his keys to me while he was talking. Are you certain of this? It would be better if I oversaw the investigation and vouched for his conclusion. Roman told me that you're the cleverest feline he's ever met. I believe you can find the truth. Fine praise aside, that hardly sounds like Roman. And you're the only one who could prove Roman innocent. I'm not interested. Well, I guess I had to turn to insects for help. Absolutely not. Start walking then. Oh my god, changement de personnage, je ne m'attendais pas du tout à ça. Oh my god, que je ne m'attendais pas du tout à ça. Mais ça fait du bien de voir Roman de quoi qu'elle a pour vrai. Ça, on l'a vu quelques fois durant les témoignages et tout ça en photo. On l'a jamais vu interagir comme ça, c'est intéressant. Mais c'est cool. Donc, si vous voulez voir l'action en live sur Twitch, vous allez avoir le lien juste ici. Donc, comme je vous disais au début, maintenant, c'est vraiment les lives de Twitch que vous avez et non plus des épisodes découpés. Mais c'est pas grave, on va essayer de faire. Et j'espère que vous allez quand même apprécier l'effort que ça nécessite pour vous. Donc, je vous souhaite une excellente fin de journée ou une excellente fin de soirée, tout dépendant si ça plaît à vous. Et je vous dis à la prochaine.